DMX, what are you doing here?
Really? What am I doing here? I'm X, man. I live in this. The industry ain't what it used to be. The industry's trying to control the way you MC. They want you to dress like this and talk like that.
I don't know who created it, if it was Future or Migos, but all them sound the same.
Turn a pandemic into a pandemic, you know that's the that we own.
Apparently, hip-hop's current status is not a particularly attractive one at the moment. As hip-hop grapples with declining sales, it finds itself in the midst of an identity crisis.
Don't make me start rapping in Chinese on the microphone. Like Final Payla, that means take your butt.
Something that DMX seems to have warned us about. Once the leading genre in the music industry, it now faces a transformation at the pinnacle of its charts. The legendary rapper DMX, as well as many people, appear to believe that the raw, celebrity-driven rap that used to characterize its sound has given way to other genres. First dance music, and now tender ballads, which has suppressed the original rap genre.
The game is man. The game is bull. If you want to rap or sing or whatever, don't become a part of the game.
DMX, a name that needs no introduction, seems to possess a prophetic understanding of the future of the hip-hop industry. In his debut album from 1998, titled It's Dark and Hell is Hot, there's an echo of the poet John Milton's Sonnet 19. In this sonnet, Milton lamented the loss of his vision. The title of DMX's album suggests a man thrust into perilous circumstances without the guidance of a higher power, where survival necessitates a Faustian pact. Earthly life is attainable, but only by succumbing into a moral darkness that condemns one to hell. DMX's deep preoccupation with this moral dilemma and how it could erode and ultimately consume him is evident in his stage name DMX, which stands for Dark Man X.
I go with the flow, you know. I'm inspired by life.
The moral toll of existence in a fallen world was far from an abstract concept for DMX. Born in Mount Vernon, New York in 1970, he was the only son of Arnett Simmons and Joe Barker. Barker left, leaving Simmons, a teenager at the time, to raise her child alone in Yonkers. She grappled with the challenges of raising a black son in the midst of poverty and the school street projects, and subjected him to horrific abuse.
When he was younger, his mom had took him to a children's home and said that they was just going to visit.
In a 2019 interview with GQ, DMX recalled the extreme physical aid he endured from his mother, including an incident where she knocked his teeth out when he was just 6 years old. This mistreatment cast a constant, oppressive shadow of fear over his life. As he explained in the 2020 Bet series Rough Riders Chronicles, being too confident or expressing oneself could lead to severe punishment in his situation. He said, "My mother beat 2 teeth out of my mouth with a broom." The aid DMX suffered during his childhood led to a pattern of criminal and antisocial behavior. For instance, he once stabbed another child in the face with a pencil. However, this behavior in turn subjected him to even more A. During one summer, in an attempt to discipline him, his mother Arnett locked him in his bedroom for months, allowing him to leave only for bathroom breaks. Then in 1983, Arnett effectively severed their relationship when she took him to the Children's Village group home under the pretense of just visiting. But it turned out to be a trick. She left him there, marking a painful turning point in his life. Right then and there, Simmons remembered in Chronicles, "I learned to just put away, conceal, bury whatever bothered me. End of story." I think another side of me was born right there that enabled me to protect myself.
He was too little to be there, too little to understand how to defend himself, how to take care of himself and everything else, but he did it.
Yet, despite the challenging circumstances, it was at Children's Village that DMX's love for music began to take root. When he returned to Yonkers 2 years later, he formed a connection with a local rapper named Ready Ron. They would roam the streets with Ron rapping while Simmons provided the beatboxing behind him. Ron encouraged DMX to start rapping himself, but according to Simmons, he also betrayed the budding 14-year-old artist by tricking him into smoking a crack-laced blunt. This incident marked the initiation of an addiction that would cast a long shadow over his life. Right from the start, DMX's passion for music was intertwined with feelings of mistrust, dependence, and aggression. He described wandering Yonkers, looking for people to rob, and if I came across a rap battle, just as good. Between 1986 and 1990, DMX's life was a constant cycle of incarceration and life on the streets, all the while writing songs. It wasn't until Joaquin Dean an aspiring music executive who co-founded the record label Rough Riders, discovered DMX through his demo tape that things began to change.
He had a cassette of DMX. I listened to it in the 300ZX, I remember it. And then I was like, yeah, I like this kid, let's do something. And then I went to Yonkers and met DMX.
DMX's DA and criminal history had hindered his success, but he eventually managed to secure a deal with Def Jam. He quickly earned a reputation as a battle rapper known for his fixation on dogs, skillful control of tempo and rhythm, and a fierce, menacing snarl in his voice that conveyed a sense of lawlessness. When Def Jam released its Dark and Hell is Hot, it made an impressive debut at #1 on the Billboard 200 chart and eventually attained quadruple platinum status. DMX was a unique figure in an era still enamored with Puff Daddy's opulent vision for rap. He was a former armed robber who rapped about the corrosive spiritual consequences of crime in a voice that seemed to emanate from a serrated throat.
#1 album, imagine that. Cats are sick, this dog got his swagger back.
5 albums debut at #1. It's never been done before.
His subsequent albums, Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood, 1998, and Then There Was X, each also debuted at #1 and achieved multi-platinum status. Remarkably, between 1998 and 2003, his first 5 albums all debuted at #1, making him the first artist ever to accomplish this feat. DMX achieved a level of popularity on par with Notorious B.I.G. and Jay-Z by presenting himself as an instinctual yet tormented bruiser, constantly wrestling with the sense that his sins were leading him down a path of damnation. As he expressed in his 1998 collaboration with the Lox on the track Money, Power, and Respect, when you do dirt, you get dirt. At times, DMX saw himself as a kind of human sacrifice. The cover of his album Flesh of My Flesh depicted him drenched in blood, with his hands raised in a manner reminiscent of Christ presenting his stigmata. Hollywood also attempted to transform Simmons into a movie star, and he appeared in 5 films between 1998 and 2004, including Hype Williams' visually striking gangster morality play, Belly.
DMX. What are you doing here?
Really? What am I doing here? I'm X, man. I live in this.
However, his old troubles continued to haunt him, regardless of the dizzying heights he reached in his professional career. His success was accompanied by an equally rapid descent from grace. He grappled with ongoing addiction, faced arrest for animal cruelty, tax evasion, possession, and a range of other crimes, ultimately leading to the squandering of his hard-earned earnings. Quote, Earl is a person who still holds on to a lot of things he suffered in the past, as a child. His former manager, Nakia Walker, told Houston Press in 2011, he holds on to things, instead of talking about things and releasing. He expresses himself through his music. On songs like Rough Riders Anthem, triumphant production obscures the way he wrestles with the demons that precipitated his fall. Quote, they want to try, they want to lie, then they wonder why, they want to die, all I know is pain, he proclaimed in the first verse, positing dysfunction as a product of his brokenness. How can I maintain with mad shit on my brain, he asks. The song mixes images of criminal bravado with a shame and doubt that were DMX's calling card. Yeah, I know it's pitiful, he says of his behavior. On The Convo, he stages a dialogue with God about his wretchedness. Here I am, confused and full of questions. Am I born to lose, or is this just a lesson? While DMX's songs were at times marred by a deeply disturbing form of misogyny and homophobia, they also displayed inventiveness in the way they took the violent fantasies often associated with subgenres like gangster rap and transformed them into music that carried the weight of his own spiritual and mental health struggles. In one song, he openly declares himself a, quote, manic depressive with extreme paranoia. In interviews, he didn't shy away from discussing his desire for a lasting, trustful intimacy, one that wouldn't end in betrayal.
You know, I didn't know. And then she asked, oh, I came in, and she walked.
In another interview with rapper Talib Kweli, he shared the story of Reddy Ron with a genuine bewilderment about how a man could do such harm to a child. It's hard not to interpret his music as a kind of trust fall, a hope that by being transparent about the pain he was experiencing, he might find the tenderness he longed for. In the 2021 documentary DMX, Don't Try to Understand, directed by Christopher Frierson, we witnessed DMX freestyling in a parking lot with a group of younger rappers, weaving together stories of tangled frustration and resigned hopelessness.
I promise give him the best. I don't really give a You walk around with the vest, I'ma aim at your head and I'ma aim at your chest.
At one point, one of the younger rappers breaks down in tears and DMX readily embraces him, saying, quote, "I barely know you, but I love you." This moment illustrates his desire for human connection and the genuine empathy he had for others despite his own struggles. Undoubtedly, DMX's entry into the hip-hop scene in the late 90s was truly remarkable. His raw, uncompromising delivery and candid lyrics struck a chord with fans worldwide. What set this album apart was its unique blend of prayers and his alter ego Damien, acting as the devil on his shoulder, pushing him toward the dark side. This distinctive approach made an already standout artist even more prominent in the hip-hop landscape. This is what his co-rapper Dragon said.
The songs that he wrote in North Carolina with us in the house, and that's great you said that in the word. I'm saying, we was actually just discussing that. That's one of the fastest songs he wrote.
He offered a striking contrast to the materialism that dominated the mainstream during that era, represented by artists like Mace and the bling bling movement associated with Cash Money. Despite the unfiltered rawness of his music, he managed to sell over 20 million records. Additionally, he achieved success on the big screen, establishing himself as an actor with roles alongside Aaliyah in Romeo Must Die, alongside Steven Seagal in Exit Wounds, and in the Hype Williams directed hip-hop classic Belly. His versatility as both a rapper and an actor allowed him to leave an indelible mark on both the music and film industries.
You do movies deep as Seagal, Jackie Chan.
Yeah. Because God gave me the opportunity.
Yeah.
That's all. God gave me the opportunity.
DMX, despite achieving remarkable success in music and film with over 74 million albums sold, tragically passed away without a will. Shockingly, he left behind an estate that, by some estimates, was in debt amounting to millions of dollars. Shortly after his death, multiple members of his family, which includes 15 children from 9 different women, petitioned the court to become administrators of the late rap star's estate. This situation underscores the importance of estate planning and the potential complications that can arise when there isn't a clear plan in place for the distribution of one's assets after their passing.
This is the news that fans had been dreading all week, as DMX, who had been on life support, has officially died. The statement put out just a few moments ago.
DMX's estate, despite its current financial challenges, appears to be the subject of a dispute among his loved ones who are vying for control over the late rap icon's recording and publishing royalties. These royalties, including those from a posthumous album, master recording royalties, and licensing opportunities, are estimated to be worth a substantial $17.7 million. This underscores the potential financial stakes and legal complexities involved in managing the legacy and future income of a highly successful artist like DMX, even after their passing.
DMX, who had to file for bankruptcy on 3 separate occasions as he couldn't afford child support.
DMX's life was indeed marked by significant financial and legal challenges, alongside his well-documented struggles with substance abuse. Despite his substantial earnings from albums, which amounted to more than $2.3 million between 2010 and 2015, DMX filed for bankruptcy in 2013. In his filing, he stated he had just over $50,000 in assets while owing more than $1 million in debt to various creditors. However, the bankruptcy court rejected DMX's claim, which meant he remained responsible for his debts.
His third bankruptcy would occur in 2016, during which it would be discovered that DMX had racked up a further $1.7 million worth of unpaid child and family support.
But why was he in debt? That is where the problem lies. We have seen that music records do not give their artists music rights, the rights they deserve the most, and the prime example of it is Diddy. Founded in 1993 through a collaboration between Combs and Arista Records, Bad Boy Records played a significant role in producing iconic hip-hop tracks such as Juice and Mo Money Mo Problems by Notorious B.I.G., Flava in Ya Ear by Craig Mack, and Feel So Good by Mace. During this era, it was a prevalent practice for record labels to acquire a share of an artist's publishing rights as part of their signing agreements, although this practice has been a source of dispute for many artists.
Making the Band is one of those. They brought back Real World, they brought back Jersey Shore, they brought back Laguna Beach. Making the Band is the only one that they did not bring back.
Combs used a speech at a 2020 pre-Grammy gala to say that hip-hop and black music had, quote, never been respected by the Grammys. Mace took his former label boss to task, saying he was equally guilty. In a since-deleted Instagram post, the rapper said he had offered Combs $2 million to buy back his publishing rights, but the offer was turned down. Quote, "Your past business practices knowingly has continued purposely starved your artists," he alleged in the post. "For example, you still got my publishing from 24 years ago in which you gave me $20,000, which makes me never want to work with you, as any artist wouldn't. This is not black excellence at all." This incident highlights the same case with DMX, and he also lambasted the recording industry for the cut it takes from its artists. By 2004, DMX had released 5 albums, but wasn't seeing the fruits of his labors. In music, the highest paid artist gets 18 cents off of $1, and the record company still owns their product even though they paid for it. DMX said, "It's like straight robbery. They give you nothing." His fans also supported him. One person wrote, "He truly had a rough life. I hope he's finally at peace now. Thanks for all the motivating and uplifting songs your music had on me growing up." Another person added, "I discovered X when I was a young teenager, full of rage and anger myself. I was heavily into weed and black metal music and goth music at the time. But when I heard his songs, in particular the real dark ones like Damien 1, 2, and 3, I knew that I had found a kindred spirit. I have always likened him to the rap industry's version of a black metal artist, in that he can express his rage and vulnerabilities like no other. His music truly saved me through some dark times, and I will forever hold a special spot in my heart for him. May he finally be at peace." But do you think today's hip-hop is as dedicated as DMX's was? Hip-hop artists have historically harnessed this genre to illustrate their lifestyles, using rap as a medium to convey genuine stories from their past to an audience in a compelling and engaging manner, potentially even as a means to process past trauma as DMX did. It served as a channel for self-expression rather than just a get-rich-quick scheme. Nevertheless, in contemporary times, it is seen that many artists entered the rap scene with similar aspirations: luxurious cars, attractive partners, and substantial wealth.
What do you think of Travis Scott Utopia album? I give it a 2 out of 10. Too much rapping.
This trend is indeed mirrored in the lyrics of contemporary rap songs, where the focus often revolves around flaunting substantial amounts of money and living a lavish lifestyle. While some might argue that this has always been a part of rap music, it's evident that in recent times these themes have become more pronounced, and there seems to be a decline in what some might consider serious rap music. It's increasingly becoming a genre dominated by artists boasting about their wealth, which contributes to the perception that rap music has deteriorated in quality for some people. Furthermore, there's a noticeable trend of numerous individuals aspiring to attain rap stardom in the hopes of achieving financial security. While the allure of such success is undeniable, the reality is that the odds of making it in the rap industry are slim. This is particularly evident when many of the new rap tracks from up-and-coming artists come across as overly formulaic and uninspired.
Yeah, because once you be you, who could be you but you?
Right.
That's what's wrong right now. Everybody trying to rap the same style with the, I don't know who created it, if it was Future or Migos, but all them sound the same.
Let's be honest, a significant portion of these novice rap songs either falls short in terms of quality or appears to be derivative of other artists' works. This observation has become increasingly apparent in recent years. Many individuals are driven primarily by monetary gain, striving to accumulate as many Spotify streams as possible with minimal effort invested. This sort of behavior has adverse effects on the industry as a whole, lowering the overall standards for other artists. A necessary shift is to prioritize quality over quantity once again. To achieve this, a renewal or cleansing period may be required for rap music, allowing it to shed those individuals solely motivated by quick financial gains. And this all because of DMX, whose legacy and alive rap style makes us think about this. His influence on the rap world has prompted us to contemplate the profound disparities within the genre. His commanding presence on both stage and in the studio, characterized by sheer intensity, ensures that he will not only be remembered for his transformative impact on the industry, but also for the enduring legacy he leaves behind. DMX's name will forever command respect, not only for his contributions to the rap scene, but also for being one of the early symbols of the journey from adversity and poverty to fame.